Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Barak YaHaWah, Barak YaHaWaShi. Barak YaHaWah, Barak YaHaWaShi. Barak YaHaWah, Barak YaHaWaShi. BaHaSham, Barak Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, the fellow laborers, the Akim, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives throughout the four corners of the earth. To the Aquath listening and learning, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin Camp here in Toronto with another lesson. And through the spirit and power of YaHaWah, the title of this lesson is these heathen nations, right? They're scrambling, man. It's quick edification. Something I was meditating on momentarily ago, a few minutes ago, right? And they're scrambling. These heathen nations, 2/3 of our people, they're scrambling, right? And a lot of it has to do with their so-called holiday season. Their feast days, man. They're pagan feast days, man. You know what I mean? They're pagan worship, right? And that's what a lot of this has to do with. They're scrambling. They don't know what to do, right? And where I'm at, they just announced today that strict the water BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. The water BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. But they just announced stricter lockdowns are coming as of Monday, man. That's up here in Canada, Toronto, Canada, right? And these heathen nations and 2/3 of our people, they're bugging out because they can't celebrate their feast day, right? Their Christmas, right? A couple precepts, man. Feed the sheep, edify the flock. You see me? Feed the lambs, edify the flock. You know. And these other nations, man, they're bugging out. They don't know what to do. Oh, we can't celebrate their feast day. They can't celebrate it. There's stipulations. There's lockdowns. Let's get a precept, man. Amos 5, right? And the Most High's taking out these idols, right? The Most High's taking out these graven images, right? Putting his foot on their neck. Amos chapter 5, verse. He's not. The Most High's not smelling their. He hates and despises their feast days, man. Amos 5, verse 21. I hate. Who hates? YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi hates. I despise. Who despises? The Most High, YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. He despises your feast days. Who's? The heathen. 2/3 of our people. The wicked, the other nations, the wicked. He despises and hates your feast days. And I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. He's not going to smell. In the ancient world, a sacrifice created a pleasant savor, a smell to the Most High, YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. Right? So when your sacrifices were being burned and consumed in the flame, it created a pleasant, pleasing smell to the Most High, YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. The Most High is not smelling these feasts, these pagan worship, heathen feast days. The Most High is not dealing with it. Verse 22. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, right? Though you're praying to me and who your so-called God, right? Your pagan worship, your heathen God, your idols, right? Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them. The Most High is not accepting these heathen prayers, these heathen offerings, these pagan prayers, these pagan offerings, these burnt offerings, these sacrifices. The Most High is not accepting it, right? He's not dealing with it. Neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts, right? Your fat beasts. In the ancient world, you had a fat lamb, unblemished. That was a sacrifice, right? Take thou away, verse 23. Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, right? So the mirth is gone. The mirth, the what is it called? The Christmas carols. Done, finished. Their prayers in their harlot houses, done, finished. They can't even congregate in their harlot houses, man. The Most High has his foot on their neck, man. Right? These decrees of lockdowns. They can't even worship in their harlot houses. Right? Take thou away from me the noise of thy songs, for I will not hear the melody of thy viols, right? The melody, the songs, the instruments, right? The singing in their congregations. That's done. That's finished. It's done away with, man. Let's close out with this. Micah chapter 5, verse 13, and it reads, thy graven images, right? These graven images, all these pagan harlot house images made with man's hands, thy graven images also will I cut off. They're all cut off, man. They're Santa Clauses, they're Caesar Borgias. It's cut off, man. It's desolate. It's done. It's finished. And thy standing images out of the midst of thee, and thou shalt no more worship the work of thy hands. Right? They're not there's no. They can't worship. They can't do their rituals. It's done. It's finished, man. Right? This lockdown. The Most High YaHaWah put the spirit of this lockdown. Put the spirit on the politicians, the banking families, the elites, the ruling class elites, the wicked, to lock this thing down, man. Right? Build back better. Great reset. He put the spirit on these ruling class elites to lock things down. Right? So all these graven images, all these pagan images that these heathen nations, as well as 2/3 of our people worship, is locked off. It's finished, man. Verse 14. And I will pluck up thy groves, places of worship. Let's get it. Micah 5, verse 14. And I will pluck up thy groves.
Strong's H 5428. Nathash. Strong's H 842. Asherah.
Right. Pluck up thy groves. The Most High is going to pluck up their groves, man. Their groves. Thy groves. Whose groves? The heathen nations. 2/3 of our people. Right up in that, man. Groves. For idol worship. Right? They're harlot houses, man. Her images, sacred trees or poles set up near an altar, right? Their altars, their idol worship, man. Right? The Most High is gonna pluck it up. The Most High's got his foot on the neck of these heathen feast days, man. Right? And I will pluck up thy groves out of the midst of thee, out of the midst of who? These heathen nations. 2/3 of our people, the wicked, right? Out of the midst of them. So will I destroy thy cities. The Most High's laying this. The Most High's put his foot on the neck of all these graven images. These pagan feast days, right? But yeah, it was just something I was meditating on, man. Quick edification. Feed the sheep, feed the lambs. Yes, man. Right? Because just out here in transit, looking around, and these heathen nations, including 2/3 of our people, they look frustrated, man. Right? Mad, right? What's the word? In their feelings, because they can't, go through with their feast day, their pagan feast day, their pagan worship, their idol worship. But yeah, I pray you're edified. Adawan Ratazah, Kwam Yashavala, Wa Abad Babal.